Welcome to PokéBiz, and I'm about to show you how to turn these into this.
Alright guys, episode 51, and it's time to do something a little different, almost like a fun little, almost, past 50 episodes kind of thing. I'm going to look at my report card, or at least my investment report card for Pokemon products. Now, I thought this would be fun to look at the products that I told you guys would be good investments for my very first investment video. And I'll be honest, when I was looking back at it, it was like 6 months ago. And I was a little cringe, compared to what I did now. Like, I'm definitely a lot more comfortable now talking to you guys, and definitely I feel comfortable taking the criticism and stuff like that. Back in the time, I was like, oh, am I good enough for that? Am I good enough? And now I don't care. I'll tell you guys which might be good investment, what might not be. You can take it as it is. You can take it. I'll give my reasonings, but yeah, who cares? Let's keep going. All these guys from tcgplayer.com, and I'm going to go through every single thing that it was kind of weird. Man, it would cost it that much. It's crazy, some of these prices and how they changed over time. But anyway, let's get going. So first up that I showed was Shining Legends Elite Trainer Box, going for the original price of $329. And of course, the reason why you get this is because they didn't reprint it. It was something scarce, but also very popular set. The Pokemon in there were really sought after, so to me, it was a no-brainer. And now, looking at the new price that we currently see, going for around $213. So it went down in price, and there was a small scare, as you can see from this chart, that it just made it dip significantly, but it is slowly start to rise up. So in this case, we took a hit, we took a loss, and it wasn't worth holding for the 6 months. But guys, things happen. First of all, we had the decrease in Pokemon popularity, and we also had a bunch of other scares and stuff, reprints coming, all these things are going. I'm not too terribly surprised that this thing went down, and actually I'm pretty happy that it kept relatively consistent with the price that I bought it for. Some products have just went down the drain. Right when ever since they announced the UPC reprint, it went from 400 to 350 now. It just keeps taking out chunks. But anyway, this one was a hit. I'm not going to be oh yeah, but it makes all sense. It was still, I didn't know that Pokemon was going to take a hit, but I still think it's a good investment, guys. I still really do. Things that are before modern day era are still really good investments. Now this one kind of made me a little mad. Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box, going for $180 for the original price that I said on TCG Player, and now the new price is $162.98, basically $163. Now, as you can see from the chart, this thing is just everywhere. Oh my gosh, I just can't make its choice. And it just got reprint after reprint, and it hurt my heart when I saw it go all the way down to 130 something. And I bought it, and I bought it for a lot more than that. And I was like, man, but I also know that this set is really popular, and I also know that past that reprint, they're probably not going to do it. I hope that please, they don't reprint it again. But yeah, it basically went back to what its original price. We're getting closer to it, and as you see from the chart, it's up and down, but we're currently around the up part. And again, if Pokemon is surprised with another surprise reprint, then we're fine. It will also have the Pokemon Center thing that happened where they just suddenly started selling these for cheap, and I wonder what that was about. But it only happened for a little bit, so I don't think they put enough in the market to really affect the prices. Maybe a little bit, but not that much. Now moving on, and this one I'm kind of surprised with how we have the Champions Path Elite Trainer Box going for $130, at least for the original price. So if you bought that and then you saw what it is now, going for around $104. Okay, guys, okay. Naturally, I can say the whole Pokemon losing interest stuff, and all, it is a big point. But I also definitely feel Charizard also in of itself got a hit as a character. Now, I'm not saying that Charizard isn't popular. It's still a very popular and very lucrative card to get. But right now, the focus isn't really that big on Charizard much anymore. Or at least right now, it's not. It's more on the evolution. It's more on the Rayquaza. It's more on Umbreon. Charizard, I feel will get its limelight again, of course, because it's Charizard. But right now, it's because of Charizard and the times. I feel that's what really made this box take a hit. Now, I also believe Charizard will never fail to bring in money, so it'll just go right back up. But for right now, I believe that kind of explains the price of this currently. All right, moving on. We got almost like a bad vibe. People either love this set or hate this set because they just want that one thing, which is that Chunkachu. We have the Vivid Voltage booster box at the time being sold for $130, and right now being sold for $125, around that price, and not that bad. I'm gonna say it stayed the same considering like the reprints and all the stuff that came out and people just talking about it. And I think that this did a great job in like maintaining its price. So I also think it's going to keep going up in price. Like, you know, you see the scale, it's kind of stagnating, but it's a Pikachu based box. Even if you weren't going to open up the set to find the Chunkachu, just the box itself is a collector's item. Like just having it on show, Pikachu in the front, that in of itself is worth something. So I'd be perfectly fine getting another one, to be honest. I right now, with prices are being low, like some of these are actually, I'm debating whether I should pick up something new. Now, this is one thing that can say that I am positive about. It's a Celebrations Elite Trainer box. The original price going for around $76, but when I bought it at Walmart for around $50. This is when Celebrations was big. This is when you couldn't get enough of it. People were just loving it. And right now, the current price, even after the big hit with the Pokemon popularity, going for around like $80. $80. So it went up $4, and it might not seem like that much, but this is one of those sets that actually held its value, not only because it's a really popular set, even though it was printed a lot, like it did what it needed to do. Like, I remember this was a set back in the day, like whenever I first did this video 6 months ago, that I was like, this is a set no one's really looking at. And I know that sounds weird to say because everybody was looking at it at some point with the UPCs and stuff like, but I remember when I bought this and I put this thing last on my list because I was like, guys, I think this is the underdog for things that you should be collecting right now, because I feel like it's just going to keep increasing in price and not get reprinted as much because it's a celebration set. And look at it, it ended up doing the best one out of every single thing that I recommended. Now, do I think the other ones are bad choices? No, I still think they're great investments, and I still would have done the same thing 6 months ago. But the fact that this one stayed strong, even amongst all the dying Pokemon hype, shows that this was an amazing investment and still kind of is. So if you find celebration products, I'd say snag it, especially if you find like a Celebrations Elite Trainer box or a UPC for relatively cheap prices, like lower than TCG player prices. Snag it. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. But I gotta also be true to myself. Like, although there was a lot of surprise reprints, I also gotta just look at the numbers and be like, Eric, you done goofed. I'd say I give myself like a B minus, because a lot of the things, even the things that took a hit, wasn't that big of a hit, and there was the big surpriser one that did end up doing well, even amongst the Pokemon craze dying down. So, you know, there's some things that you just can't like predict. Sometimes just a single event could change everyone's opinion of a certain product or a certain like franchise. So like this is always, I always gotta say, never invest money that you're not willing to lose. Like, you gotta be willing to lose money and stuff, and like if it ends up going to zero, you're okay with that. Don't invest like your life savings or stuff like that. Like, I know sometimes people do it and they get lucky, but also people do it and lose everything, have to start over and literally have to live in cardboard boxes. Like, don't do that. Only invest stuff that you're willing to lose. And if you do that little by little, you'll start getting big winners, start feeling it out to where you start getting more and more winners, and you just, you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It'll be cool to do another video of this in 6 more months and see how the prices looked in 1 year, kind of like compare and contrast, see. And it's kind of weird, kind of like looking at the times from 6 months now, kind of guessing what that's going to be like. You know, we have this Violet and Summit era, all that stuff happening, and it's just curious. I'm curious, and I definitely think, prediction wise, that all these things that I listed are going to go up in price. I know I predicted that past, but now that we're kind of like, they need those printers for other stuff, they're not going to reprint the stuff that they already reprinted a million times. I definitely think that this stuff is going to be good investment products. I'm still going to stick to my guns, and I would still invest in this stuff. Have a good one.